I'ma take pop. And if I hit the switch, I can make the ass drop.
Party people in the house, welcome. I'm Bass and I'm DIZZ-E. You are now in the vibe. We're having fun. We are on a high and we are vibing hard this week. Welcome to episode 4. Okay, and we want to thank you all for joining us on this, supporting us and keeping us going.
That's right. Let's keep the hype going. Remember, press the subscribe button below.
And ring the bell so you will be notified every time we post a new video.
That's right. So keep the comments coming and press the likes button.
Show us the love like you have been showing us, right? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and on our other channel, Critical Opinion, with our music videos. Okay, the links are listed below and also in the bar up top. Okay? Anyways, so if you haven't heard our music, if you haven't heard us rap or our videos, go check it out.
So like every other week, we have an awesome episode lined up for you this week. Today we're going to talk about and put Afrika Bambaataa, let me say his name right, Afrika Bambaataa in the spotlight.
Last week we touched on the subject of breakdancing, right? And so this week we're going to really go into it. We are going to take a look at breakdancing, how breakdancing also moved and grooved with hip hop music, and actually it was around a lot earlier than hip hop music, right? Than rap. Some people even say it goes back to the African, back to the motherland, right? And so even with the rapping, right? So it's rapping is storytelling, people. Okay, it's an old tradition that was passed down from tribe to tribe, right? And now our forefathers of rap have passed the information and knowledge to us, and we are now in the current passing knowledge on to the future generation. So this is what rap and hip hop is all about. It's not just music, it's a culture and a way of life. If you're into hip hop music and rap, you know what I'm talking about. All right, this week's very interesting, very interesting things happened this week, man. I was shocked, man. Will Smith slapped Chris Rock into next week at the Oscars. At the Oscars, dude. Okay, but he just walked right up and smacked. But I gotta give credit to Chris Rock. He took it like a man. He just went carried on like there was nothing happened. A lot of people thought it was fake, right? It was set up, but it was real, dude. It was real. So based on that, what do you think, Bass?
I'm going to give my critical opinion.
Okay. Oh, okay. So
because I believe this was Will's opportunity. Because the one thing about Will, he was a great actor. He still is a great actor, but he never won an Oscar, and this was his only chance to get an Oscar, put his name and everything on the spotlight in a positive way. And when he slapped Chris Rock, it just looked so bad on him, on everything. And I'm going to say this: I blame Jada. I blame Jada because Jada could have kept him in check and say, hey, just don't worry about it, leave it alone. But I think he even laughed in the first.
Oh, he was laughing. He was laughing until he looked at Jada, right? Yes. And this is, hey, I got nothing against Jada or Will. Love both of them, right? I love Chris Rock. Always have. Love Will Smith. Followed him right from the beginning. Yes. Okay, parents just don't understand Will. I don't think you understand now, right? Yes. You preaching all that peace, love, harmony, and respect. I love you for that, bro, but seriously, a little out of line, but I'm not here to judge or preach, right? So I just want you to know, much love to you, bro. I know that you're going through some difficult stuff. Read about it, seen it, right? And, we're not here to talk trash about anybody. We just want to say, Chris, we love you, right? And Will, still loving, still supporting.
You still are our role model. We still love you. Just keep the positivity going.
Keep it going, brother.
You don't have to be anybody else. There's no Tupac. There's no other rappers. Will Smith.
You're Will. You're Will.
Yes.
You're a big Willie.
Yes.
Okay? All right. So, Bass, I have another question for you.
Yeah.
Have you started watching the new series Bel-Air?
I've been sliding behind.
Seriously? Man. Okay, for all of you that don't know, this series called Bel-Air, it's about Will Smith, okay? From his earlier series back in the 90s, early 90s, when he created a show, actually Quincy Jones created a show called The Prince of Bel-Air, right? And if you haven't seen it, those old shows, go back and look at it. And you guys are funny, man. It's funny. It was a comedy, about a half-hour comedy, and then now somebody else created a new show called Bel-Air. It's based on the comedy Prince of Bel-Air, but they switched it up and turned it, instead of a comedy, it's a drama. And man, it's not just, it's got some funny parts in it, and but it's a little bit more serious. What really would have happened to Will and his family, his extended family, and things he had gone through, right? And so I recommend this highly, okay? So watch it if you can, and if you haven't seen it yet, if you haven't seen the old stuff, go check it out, man. You know what? They don't make TV series like they used to, especially comedies. Man, they gotta get back to the family dramas and the family shows, right? So that everybody can sit down and watch it. Get rid of the drugs and the sex and the alcohol and all that stuff. Get back to family values, people. Okay? Real issues. Okay. Also, I don't know if you ever seen the show called Bob Hart's Abishola.
No, I heard about this show. Yes. My wife was telling me about this. I wanted to get into it.
You gotta see it. In this week's episode, you will not believe this. They pretty much copied our second episode about Sugar Hill.
Really?
And Grandmaster Flash said the same things we said, and they was giving a bit of a history lesson to the little boy, the young boy on it, and the older uncle was rapping like hip hop, hip to the hip hop, and you don't stop, just like you did, right? And then his grandson was like, "Oh wow, hey Unc, you can dance and you can rap," and he said, "Yeah, let me tell you, don't you know the history of Sugar Hill and Grandmaster Flash?"
Yeah.
And then it was almost identical to what we said on our show.
Well, it seems like somebody's watching us.
Somebody's watching, somebody's loving us, right? Hey, much love. Okay, if you haven't seen the show Bob Hart's Abishola, go watch it. Funny show, funny show, right? And it's up to date. Yeah. Speaking of this week, and is there anything new, anything happening in your life, in the news, something you'd like to share with us?
No, it's just the weather. I don't know if you guys understand that we live in Czech Republic, so we live in this kind of the center of Europe, and
they call it the heart of Europe.
Okay, exactly. And it was kind of warm last weekend. Yeah. But the weather just dropped. It started to rain, and I even saw snow this morning. Yeah. Yes. So
that was rain.
Oh no! It's a little bit of snow, and for the next week it'll be like this.
Ooh.
So I thought spring was coming, but it's kind of reversing back.
It's switched.
Yeah. Thank you, global climate change.
Global warming. Oh man, you know what? I don't believe in that stuff. Not the global warming, environmental change. It's not real. Okay.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's not. Okay? Space is a smart guy.
Well, I'm a scientist.
Yeah, he doesn't believe it either. I'm just joking. We're joking. Right? That was just for Trump. Okay? So, anyways. Are we gonna be off the air?
I think we'll be zoomed out.
We'll be off the air soon. He'll have somebody send out after us. I don't know, right? Maybe Putin. Yo, Bass, are you ready to drop some knowledge on us about Afrika Bambaataa? Okay, man, this guy is a legend. Wait until you hear what some of the things that this guy has done. And this guy goes way back. Okay, so, all right, so, Bass, drop some knowledge.
Let's start. First, his real name is Kevin Donovan, also known as Lance Taylor, aka Afrika Bambaataa. He's a DJ, rapper, and producer. He's among the few names which are responsible for making hip-hop one of the most popular genres of music today. Though Bambaataa has entertained parties and go-getters and everything, all the celebrations, at various social gatherings, he doesn't believe that this style of music is just confined to such events. Bambaataa feels that hip-hop music has the power to spread throughout the world in communal harmony. And in the 1970s, he inspired many youngsters to choose music over violence through this genre, which helped a lot of people save their lives.
Yeah, he did. He grew up. You gotta remember, he grew up in the Bronx, in New York, and he was sort of surrounded by gangs at the time. In the 70s, like from the late 60s to the mid 80s, right? Gang activity in New York City, in the Bronx, in Queens, in the Harlem, all those areas, in Spanish Harlem, right? They were huge. Okay?
So many people have also credited him for using hip-hop to save many lives. So Bambaataa is also one of the reasons why many contemporary DJs are in the music business today. In a career spanning almost 4 decades.
Wow. That is 4 decades, man.
Yes.
That's almost as well.
Let's continue.
Let's skip over that. Skip over that part. Okay, let's continue over that. I was gonna say almost as old as him, but hey.
Yeah,
we were just babies, man. We were just kids then, man.
So Bambaataa has more than a dozen albums to his credit. He has also collaborated with various artists such as singers, songwriters, and leading band members to create timeless music. Without merely sticking to parties, Bambaataa has also used his music to express his opinions, maybe even critical opinions, on social and political issues.
He was so respected in his neighborhood.
That's right.
During his early childhood, like I said just a few minutes ago, he was involved in, he was surrounded with gangs, but he was sort of dominating the local gangs, the local communities, which was where they got involved. But these gangs didn't just at that time get involved in just gang fighting between each other, right? They were actively involved in the communities, right? Such as with healthcare programs and keeping drugs off the street. Okay, so not all gangs, by the way, at that time were selling drugs or just out for violence. They were actually trying to keep clean their communities and also trying to improve the lifestyles of the people in these areas, because these were sort of low-income areas, and nobody was really paying attention to them in the 60s, 70s, right? And mainly immigrants in these areas, Spanish, Jamaicans, right? Indians, Chinese, Japanese, Koreans, right? It's not like what they show on TV. These were all black neighborhoods, okay? They were a mix of all cultures, all races, okay? Basically people that came there for the first time, right? Or moved there. So it's a lot different than the way they portray gangs on TV, okay? Bambaataa was also sort of influenced by gang culture, and he joined one, and the name was Young Spades, okay? So Bambaataa soon became one of the most prominent members of the Young Spades, and he then became the head of one of the divisions, okay, of the Young Spades, and under his leadership, they also got involved in taking over some territories, not through violence, but taking it over to clean it up and improve the neighborhoods. And he really wanted to get the young guys off the streets. And so this is where he sort of was influenced by other DJs of that time, and also he was influenced by hip hop music.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about that, please?
Well, the influence of hip hop music, DJs such as your boy Kool Herc, and Kool DJ D, started around in 1977. And Bambaataa organized many parties where hip-hop music was the moving force. He felt that this sensational form of music is also a good way to prevent young boys from getting involved in crimes. He even formed a musical group named, I remember, Universal Zulu Nation. And during this period, many of the artists who wanted to bring a social change through music came to be. And in the 1980s, Bambaataa came to be known as one of the best musicians from the Bronx in New York, and came to be known as the master of records.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Right? He formed a couple of groups.
That's right. Jazzy 5, but the probably more famous one that you know.
Yeah, is a sensational force, or sorry, soul sonic. Sorry, correction.
Yes.
Soul sonic force.
Yes.
Okay, it was just awesome. Okay. Also, Bambaataa and the group of artists comprising of singers and dancers went on an overseas musical tour in 1982, right? And so the intention was to spread hip hop music and knowledge of hip hop and sort of make people aware of this music in Europe, right? Because not a lot of people knew about this. It was new, like I said. Hey, in the UK, it was under sort of pushed under punk, alternative music, right? So I mean, in the UK we knew about it, but Germany, France, Italy, all these they didn't know about this, so they really embraced hip hop music. That was 1982 was sort of the birth of hip hop music in all of Europe. This is where they really, when they did this tour, the tours were pretty much sold out.
Wow.
Right, because this is new. This was new to people in Europe, right? Because in Europe it was like rock and roll, Beatles, Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, punk, Iron, right? And all of this stuff was really coming along, right? He collaborated with many popular names, okay, of the music industry, such as songwriter Little Steven Van Zandt.
He was in The Sopranos.
Right? Yeah. And singer Joey Ramone, right? Of the Ramones.
Yes.
And the famous band U2. He actually collaborated with U2, right? And they're an Irish band. I love them folks. They are great, right?
I love Irish.
Love to my Irish people, my Irish family. Okay, love ya. All right, and a few others to create an anti-apartheid album titled Sun City.
Wow.
This album was probably released in 1985, I think, and was received with critical acclaim, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So
with the Soul Sonic Force, I just want to go back to that. They made this hit, Planet Rock, which helped with the breakdancing and everything. So I forgot to mention about that.
Mm-hmm.
But Bambaataa signed a contract with the music label Capitol Records.
Oh yeah.
Famous record company. In 1988, the label backed him on an album named Afrika Bambaataa and Family. Where artists such
I didn't know that.
Where artists such as Boy George, Nana Hendrix, and others have lent their voices for the various tracks.
That's big. Those are big names. Those aren't small names, man.
That's right.
And these people are still around now, right?
Yeah.
And so is he. So is Afrika Bambaataa still around.
He's about 63, 64.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So this team had even worked on numbers such as Funk You and Beware. And here are a few clips of Funk You and Beware right now.
Yeah, check it out. Here, now, right here. Bambaataa, Afrika Bambaataa. Okay, didn't just confine his talent to party places like every other DJ and MC at the time, but he also stood up for social and political causes. In 1990, with the help of the label G Street Records, Bambaataa celebrated the release of the political leader, Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela,
man. Oh man, this guy was in prison for so long for nothing. Just refusing to be enslaved in his own country, in Africa and South Africa, right? And actually the guy came out of jail, eventually became the president of South Africa. Bambaataa's popular works Planet Rock and Renegades, right? Of Renegades of Funk, right, were revisited in the mid-1990s, created a new trend, okay, called electro house. Yeah, you know what electro house is?
I know electric houses.
No, American band Rage of the Machine paid tribute to renegades of funk. Okay, Rage Against the Machine, Rage, okay, later on,
yes.
Rage of the Machine, okay, I think they became Rage Against the Machine later, okay, and so they actually re-recorded the tribute to Afrika Bambaataa, okay, his song Renegades of Funk, okay, through their own album Renegades.
Wow. Well, so let me tell you more with Bambaataa. Bambaataa was an active participant of Stop the Violence movement and released the 1989 single Self-Destruction as a way of raising his opinion. This song went out to secure the #1 spot in the Hot Rap Singles chart of that year. The National Urban League used the song to promote anti-violence through its community programs, and which resulted in raising a profit of a whopping
$400,000 at the time. You gotta remember
back then. That's a lot of money.
That's like, dude, like that's like almost like today's equivalent to about $2-3 million, right? So
a lot of money.
I mean, it was in the 90s and everything, but still, that was a lot of money for that at that time. And so this. He did some amazing things, right? So why don't we check out the clip?
Yeah, let's do it.
Of Self-Destruction. Okay, here you go. Have a listen.
Well, today's topic, self-destruction. It really ain't the rap audience that's bugging.
Okay, we're back, people. Okay, so we want to talk about some achievements, like key achievements from Afrika Bambaataa.
So let me start. The Afrika Bambaataa have featured in the list of the most important Americans of the 20th century by the Life magazine in one of its issues published in 1990.
Yeah, he was also chosen to be one of the judges of the 6th ceremony of Independent Music Awards, an annual event that even still takes place today. If you're a new artist and you have some music that you want us to play, send it to us. We'll feature you on our show, and just give us a licensing document saying that we can play you on the music, on our videos, on our show. Okay, and we will promote your video, we'll promote your music. We want to see these up and young coming artists, okay, go through whatever your music is. Send it to us. We'll listen to it and we'll promote it. Okay.
Well, I love rock and roll.
That's cool. I love rock and roll. I grew up on rock. That was the first music I listened to. Right.
Exactly.
Beatles, Stones, Rush, AC/DC, right? Led Zeppelin.
Yes.
For those about to rock,
and
we salute you. Okay.
And for many of those who don't understand it, people always question, why do you put a rapper in rock and roll? Why do you put a rock and roll musician in rap? First of all, they always cross over. All of the influences
Run DMC and Aerosmith.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Walk this way.
Yes.
Right. And so if you haven't heard these, go back and listen to it. Actually, after the 90s, right, a lot of rock bands started to actually incorporate rap into their music.
Yes.
And they always like a DJ and a rapper, right? Somebody or the lyrics were very rap-like rather than just yelling and screaming for the hard metalheads. Okay. In 2012, Cornell University appointed Afrika Bambaataa as the visiting scholar of a period of 3 years.
Wow. I want to say, and we both want to say, thank you, Afrika Bambaataa, for being an influence to us. Thank you for showing how music can be a strong, impacting force for helping the communities not to continue with violence and drugs, but as a way out to get out of this type of circumstances. So we thank you, Bambaataa. We're sending our roses to you.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep your name. We're going to keep this
you
music
live, bro.
Exactly.
We're going to keep you live. And so this is the purpose of this show.
That's right.
Is to bring back some of that old school and give young people out there that have not heard anything about this. We just want to give you a little bit of history lesson and make you aware of who were the godfathers and the forefathers of hip hop music and how it all started. I got a question for you, brother.
What is it?
Okay. When I say dancing, what's the first thing that pops up in your head?
Hip hop, street dancing, break dancing.
Okay, bro. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much what would pop up in my mind, and this is probably what pops up in other people's mind. Okay, if you are a listener of rap, R&B, you probably have seen some form of breakdancing or street dancing, which is a mix of breakdancing and jazz dancing. Okay, so a lot of these things had influence on breakdancing. Okay. But in the early days, it was more just body popping, and even the moonwalk did start like new. Michael Jackson did not introduce moonwalk, people. Okay, so but when we refer to dance, we usually have a certain style of dance in mind. This could be anything from the Running Man. Okay, and it could be the moonwalk, Michael Jackson. Okay, and Doogie, and or the dab.
Now,
I didn't understand that, right? But it's okay. It's still good, right? Everybody started doing it, right?
Yes.
All the kids at school would go, huh?
Now, I have to ask you a question.
What?
In British, do we say Doogie or do we say Dougie in America?
Well, doggy is, did I say Doogie?
You said Doogie.
Oh, doggy, sorry, doggy. Sorry, more corrections, doggy. Okay, so breakdancing, however, is not just simply a style of dancing. It's a unique culture, okay, that involves people from doing various types of movements, okay. It involves lingo. It's a vast assortment of dance moves. Wow. It's a culture.
Yeah,
even the clothes and the shoes. Breakdancing actually brought Puma and Adidas, right, and Nike back to life.
Yeah, yes, you did, because of the breakdancing, the movement. You need good shoes, right?
And most of them actually wore Adidas or Puma.
Yeah, I
right. Puma really came to life, right? By the way, Adidas and Puma, two brothers, same family. Okay, just thought I'd just throw that out there. Okay. Anyways, yo, Bass.
Yeah.
What do you think? When do you think breakdancing started?
Well, I kind of agree with you, because I would say it goes back to the 40s and early 70s. I know a huge part of that was James Brown. I know we talked about James Brown in the last episode. So have a look at the earliest forms of recorded breakdancing here. Check it out.
Ooh, you're gonna be surprised. Okay. You know, those clips really show you how far back these moves actually go back.
Did you see how they were moving their legs?
And even the way they were like moving, and it's just amazing. Moonwalk done in a variety of different ways.
Yes, right? It's like from the 1950s a guy was moonwalking.
40s.
1940s, I mean.
40s, dude. That was 1940s,
wow.
Right? It is believed that modern breakdancing was originated in the Bronx in New York, right, in 1970s. But as we just showed you with the clips, a lot earlier than that, baby. It was just became famous because of hip hop music and street parties, and so then in the 1970s, it sort of skyrocketed. It was sort of like warming up. Then in the 80s, boom, boom. Okay, it was a
Yeah.
That's not my mind, by the way. That's
Not
just
your mind.
no. My mind was blown away.
Gotta take care of you.
It was blown away, but it wasn't like, not now, it isn't. So
Yeah.
everything seems to come from New York, Pete.
New York, New York.
New York, big city of dreams.
That's
Everything
right.
in New York, it ain't all what it seems. It's be better.
That's right.
This is where their dreams are made. Funk Maestro.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about?
The Godfather of Soul.
James Brown!
Whoa.
When you talk about James Brown, you talk about funk.
You talk about music,
dance,
yeah.
right?
Talk about
Funk
energy.
Maestro, okay? So,
let me tell you something. Did you know that in the late 1960s, Afrika Bambaataa recognized that breakdancing was not just a form of dance, that he saw it as a means to an end. Bambaataa formed one of the earliest dance crews, the Zulu.
1960s, see?
Yeah,
Goes back to before 70s, right?
as we
So
talked
it
about.
goes back, right?
That's
So
right.
it does.
So-
Actually, I did not know that. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, actually, if you think about it, he
Yeah.
was a teenager in the 70s, right?
Yes,
Or
he was.
like early 20s, right? 1920s. But in the 60s, he would have probably been late 60s. He probably would have been a young guy that just started getting into
Very
music,
young,
and
yeah.
right. So he probably would have had, So 1960s.
Yeah. So the Zulu Kings, one of the dance crews that he started, gradually developed a reputation as a force to be reckoned with in breakdancing circles. And this old style breakdancing was popular until the late 1970s when the freak took over. This style, I know I like to say freak.
Freak.
So this style,
Dun, 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 dun.
freak out. So this style was based on the debut album "Freak Out" by the band of the Mothers of Invention.
Now that is cool.
Yes,
okay,
yes,
that
yes.
was like that's. I actually remember that song. I remember people dancing.
Yes.
My best mates, Charlie, his brothers used to go out and they used to dress up in all these kind of clothes and go to the clubs at the time. We were too young, we couldn't get in. But we heard that song, right? Freak Out. And at the same time, disco music. It's sort of a combination of disco, funk, right? Which leads into the new beats that we listen to today. Right, and we will do a segment where we're going to show old songs that you think that are new today, that were actually remakes of the 1970s and 80s and even early 90s music that has resurfaced now.
So many of you young cats, you say, "Oh, I know that song by Nicki Minaj." Wait a minute, it's from the 1970s. Wait a minute, that can't be.
Or even Britney Spears songs. Some of them even come from Asian countries where the music came from, South American countries. Okay.
That's right.
Okay. So, however, Afrika Bambaataa had a good band and they had a good dance crew. There was another dance crew that was big, the Rocksteady crew. Yeah, these guys were amazing. Arguably the most important dance breaking collective in hip hop music.
Yes, I remember.
Okay, in the hip hop music history. Okay, they added innovative acrobatic moves to this art of dancing. Breakdancing evolved from simple head spins, back spins, doing the helicopter. Okay, to more sophisticated power moves. Even gymnasts. Brought their gymnasts brought their attributes into breakdancing, jazz dancing, martial arts, Brazilian martial arts, that brought it into it, and so this all created modern day breakdancing, right? So, breakdancing grew together just like hip hop music. It took blends of different styles and different coming together and creating and kept growing. Okay, just like the music, the dance kept growing as well, and it still grows today. I'm so amazed at these young guys today, right? What they can do, the backflips and spins, the one hands, right? Oh man,
we can do it now.
I'm not gonna do that. No. My days of hip hop dancing or break dancing are done. Okay.
Let's continue.
Let's continue.
So, music is an essential ingredient in breakdancing and hip hop dance songs, make an ideal soundtrack. But rap is not the only option. Also great for dancing, 70s soul, funk, and even jazz tunes all work as well.
Well, they used to take, samples from all that to create the modern beats, right?
That's right.
Even from rock and roll.
Yeah.
Okay. Which you're gonna, we're doing a song on our second album, which is very rockish as well, right?
We're gonna talk about
You
it.
guys gonna love this one, okay? We'll talk about that one then.
And even the videos we're gonna try.
Yeah. Okay.
So, style, fashion, and spontaneity, concept, and technique are also vital aspects of breakdancing.
So breakdancing really started off to take off in the 1980s. As I said, it just like skyrocketed into the space, right? When it was adopted by, especially when people saw Michael Jackson on TV, moon across the stage, right? And everybody was just like,
that was like out of this world.
He's just floated across, and he did it so smoothly.
I tried to practice those moves so many hours for so many hours.
It still can't. No, we can't.
I break the floor.
I learned how to moonwalk, the side shuffle,
Yeah.
right? It was actually pretty cool, man, watching him. Right, there was a music award.
Yeah, the music awards as
and
well.
they did the Billie Jean, and they crossed that. Oh!
Do you remember when in 2001, when he did the reunion, Motown reunion, 30th year, and he brought the whole family back, and when he did the moonwalk, the Billie Jean, I remember in the videos, the girls were just crying, just show that one glove. And it was like, they treated him like even more than being a god. And
hey man, he is a god.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't care what anybody else says
Yes.
about Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Michael Jackson was a legend, is a legend,
Is.
will be a legend. The
Always.
best there was, the best there is, and the best there ever will be.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
Sorry.
greatest entertainer of all time.
Sorry, Hitman. Right? Hitman Heart. Sorry about that.
Hitman, I think
took that away. from
Hitman,
me.
if you want to come and discuss it with Mr.
No, it's him. He told me to say that.
He says, I'm gonna show you something.
Okay, so, and here, actually, you know what?
Yeah.
I set up a clip for you so that, bring back the nostalgic feeling.
Yes.
Okay?
Always
And
a
so,
fan.
why don't we watch this?
Why don't we watch it?
Just a quick little clip. Yeah, okay. Right here. Okay? Then we move back.
Yeah. As a result of its growing
That was a
popularity,
very exciting.
I don't know. You were saying, "Woo!" I thought you were singing.
Woo-hoo!
That's
It's
more
like it.
More Ric Flair into
Okay.
So, as a result of its growing popularity, record producers signed artists who could breakdance, and also presented a wholesome image that could appeal to broader audiences. This style influenced many modern forms of dance, and you'll see it today in music videos as well as in many concerts.
Yeah.
So you'll even see it performed by famous artists like Britney Spears.
Yeah,
New Edition is one of my all-time favorites. So
Destiny's Child.
Destiny's Child, New Kids on the Block,
Backstreet Boys, right?
Backstreet Boys,
and
Pussycat Dolls.
yeah, Take That.
Take
Right?
that.
TLC.
TLC.
Right?
Waterfall.
Wow. And even the boy bands and girl bands like the Indie 88, BTS, 5, and Together.
Together,
right?
yeah.
They're still incorporating breakdancing. And that's the thing, is that in the 80s and the 90s,
Yeah.
okay, they were a triple threat.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
some of the rappers were triple threat. They were dancers, they were MCs, and some of them were even DJs.
Wow. And some of them were even good singers. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like the whole package.
Quadruple threat.
Yes.
Right?
And if you compare it to today, and I know we don't want to sound like sour apples all the time with the rappers, but we're just trying to show the difference, comparisons. If you bring that same,
And you gotta bring the energy, man. Today, it's what are they doing?
Yeah.
Cars, drugs, drinking, pimping, right? Girls, girls, come on. Anyways, sorry, escaped away from
But
there.
most of the community, the people don't really do this. So, I mean, this is why we call ourselves critical opinion. We're trying to deal with the top issues, what's usually going on with people today. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go, people. You have
There you
it.
go.
Here it is. You are now in the vibe.
The
Yo,
vibe.
bass.
Yo,
You know what time it is?
is it that time already?
It's that time, bro. Right?
So here are your top 10 new rap songs of the week.
Here's your hit list.
I started with a G-Shock, now I got a richer meal. These hoes don't keep it real, and most of these niggas gon' squeal.
Bitches be jacking me like the rapper. I am a hustler, I can sell water to flipper. I know they teabagging bitches.
I like them nasty, bougie, ratchet, yeah, nasty. Bitch better won't talk, I know she ain't fucking, I ain't even finna ask. Nah, nigga, fuck that. Got me sitting in the car, all this goddamn ice on right now. Let's go. Rum up and down,
they done sent so much money for Wham, this shit on back order. Really on some 100 M's a year shit, I just act normal. Really wanna show them.
A lot of money in this safe, don't worry about us. I got a bad bitch in my place.
Think about the bad scruffy sparking my J. Shine my nickel plated, then I'm starting my day. My old lady called me baby, told her good attitude, cause I'm getting mad. Cause you wanna take 20 minutes and a half. And on top of that, I gotta get gas out of the freeway, pick up traffic. What the fuck? I'm rolling to the stars in the sky, babe, I'm home. Think that bitch was ready. Spent 500,000, that starless, my heart got heavy. Then I thought about
These are the top new artists of the week. Okay, some of them are here from last week, but these are the artists that are making the cuts now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So if you want, go to their sites, go look at them and check them out, support them, right? And support us.
So let's remember to mention to subscribe. Leave your comments below, likes, and ring the bell.
Ding ding!
Ding, ding, ding. And we will see you next week with another exciting episode of
In the Vibe. Peace!
Yeah.